My name is Nassine Saps.
Let me ask you a question. Has anything ever happened to you that you couldn't explain? That made you feel sort of foolish when you tried to tell somebody about it? Well, if it has, you have plenty of company, as you'll soon see.
They can now observe the Higgs field. The Higgs field is what is found wherever matter is not. In your room, the Higgs field is in operation. Listen, with the Higgs field, they can begin to alter reality as we know it. Now, a lot of people they can't capture that right away. But you have to remember our world is made up of matter. The antimatter is what we can't see, what we can't touch, what we can't feel, though we interact with it every day. A lot of people like to think of antimatter as the other dimension, which is the opposite of this dimension. It's an inconceivable place that is hostile inherently. It's not under control. It's very hostile. This dimension would be the more tamed dimension. Here's what they've done since the 1930s. Well, actually, since the 1800s. There was a group that studied nothing but the phenomena of paranormal activity, not like you've seen on TV, not like you've seen in Hollywood, not like anyone knows about. But they studied the science behind paranormal activity and have then defined that this is called a dimensional slip, where things can obviously interact with this world all the time. And they were wondering the interactions between known matter and that type of matter. But they also found with antimatter, this antimatter can be absorbed by any realm of paranormal activity. It is, in effect, neutralized and absorbed. So there's a physical effect to the spiritual world in antimatter. And often, demonic entities and all these other paranormal things are attracted to antimatter. They're attracted to it. For every gram of antimatter that's produced, and then it's brought into this world, when they produce it, it attracts things from another dimension coming here. What is CERN going to do? Is to allow humanity to produce pounds of antimatter. What's happening, that is the unseen portion of dark matter. And of course you have the angels which govern what that realm can and cannot do. It's not it's a shame, and I have to continue to say this, it's a shame that the Christian community cannot believe the Bible when it's talking about things like that, because it's going to cause them to be harmed. What they fail to adopt from the Bible, what they fail to believe, is going to harm them. It's going to harm them. They may not be lost in their spirits, but they're certainly going to have lumps all over the place. It's going to harm them. And I hope people have a general understanding of matter, which we can touch and feel and observe, and antimatter, which we cannot touch, feel, or observe. However, it's working in tandem with the matter.
Посмотрите, артист, популярный, не бедный, талантливый человек. Вы в этом можете сами убедиться. Посмотрите, что он говорил до того, как стал президентом.
Здравствуйте, дядя Игорь, тетя Валя и дядя Саш. Вопреки вашим опасениям сообщаю, что живу я хорошо, пока живу. Дальше будет еще лучше, потому что уже 3 недели, как я принят в бандеровцы. А как иначе? Иначе у нас в Украине карьеры не сделать. Хотя что я вам рассказываю, вы и так все знаете. Зарплата у меня маленькая, но это не главное. Ведь нам разрешили отбирать деньги и имущество у русских. А раньше можно было и у евреев. Но потом пришел главный бандеровец Коломойский и запретил. Я, например, сейчас учу английский язык, чтобы забыть русский. В этом мне помогают американские наемники, которые у нас тут на каждом шагу. Знаете, я женился во второй раз на Вадике. Для нас, европейцев, это нормально. Сегодня наш президент, ну, самый главный, который у нас самый главный президент, Барак Обама, пообещал, что мы скоро вступим в НАТО. Пока, естественно, на правах американского прихвостня. Если есть возможность, друзья, вышлите, пожалуйста, мне книгу Гитлера «Майн кампф». А то у нас разметают. Бывало, утром выхожу на балкон и начинаю делать зарядку. От сердца к солнцу, вот так.
A Canadian parliamentarian is apologizing after a standing ovation was given to a 98-year-old veteran allegedly belonging to a Nazi division in World War II. The blunder took place during Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit to the country and address to Canada's House of Commons. Veteran Yaroslav Hunka, quote, stood and appeared to salute when he was recognized by House Speaker Anthony Rota, who introduced Hunka as a Canadian-Ukrainian war hero.
We have here in the chamber today Ukrainian-Canadian world veteran from the Second World War who fought the Ukrainian independence against the Russians and continues to support the troops today, even at his age of 98. His name is Yaroslav Hunka. He's a Ukrainian hero, a Canadian hero, and we thank him for all his service. Thank you.
As you can see in the clip, Rota's words received a lengthy applause and lots of waving from the floor, including from Zelensky and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Yesterday, Jewish groups condemned the honoring of Hunka, saying he had been a member of the Waffen-SS unit, which was comprised of Ukrainians, according to the Washington Post. Heinrich Himmler, who was a leading member of the Nazi Party in Germany, formed the Waffen-SS. The group was involved with mass shootings, anti-partisan warfare, and supplying guards for Nazi concentration camps.
Alexander Sasha Trudeau, the only living sibling of Justin Trudeau, has made very few public appearances or statements ever since his brother became Prime Minister. And that might not be an accident. Because if Justin Trudeau has an activist streak and a weird blind spot for totalitarian regimes, Alexander has it way harder. There was that time in 2006 when he published a column in the Toronto Star praising Fidel Castro as something of a superman, blessed with a Herculean physique and an expert on everything from automobile combustion engines to stock markets. He wrote a whole book praising modern China, saying it never would have succeeded without the unity and organizational power of the Communist Party. It was around that time that he gave an interview to CBC saying Canada was a confused follower nation that could find glory once again by pursuing an independently sophisticated relationship with China. And he once sent a letter to his brother's government urging them not to deport a terror suspect. The case wasn't quite as bad as it sounds, but it's generally frowned upon to politically petition your own family.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Mr. Trudeau. Let me say at the outset that your assertion that Beijing diplomats were present at meetings with the Foundation in the negotiation of the donation to provide translation services to the donors to be completely unbelievable. It simply is absurd. But you further stated that Millennium Golden Eagle Inc. Canada, the source of the donation, is a Canadian company in good standing. This is a shell company based out of a house in Dorval that is controlled by the China Cultural Industry Association, which is part of the United Front Work Department. Receipts were sent to Hong Kong and then Beijing to the very same address of this United Front Work Department controlled company. So do you consider this company to be one of good standing, really?
Montreal's belief in the matter quite seriously.
Yeah, well, I don't think any Canadian who's serious about Beijing interference would view such a company to be a company in good standing, and they certainly wouldn't consider it to be a true Canadian company.
If they had wanted to interfere, I would have seen traces of that.
Mr. Trudeau, I controlled the time. I asked questions, you answered them. Now, Mr. Chair, changing gears, on September 10th, 2015, Elise Comtois, the executive director of the Trudeau Foundation, sent an email to the executive committee hoping to quickly organize a signing ceremony on Monday, September 14th, 2015. In that email, you were specifically mentioned to represent the Foundation's board and the family. This rushed meeting of a signing ceremony with the donors just happened to coincide with a time when your brother and the Liberal Party were surging in the polls, when your brother was on track to realistically become the Prime Minister of Canada, which he did a month later. That signing ceremony did not take place, and on Friday, September 11th, 2015, Natalka Harris of the Trudeau Foundation emailed you to explain that there were still outstanding issues, not between the Trudeau Foundation and the donors, but with the University of Montreal. Nonetheless, she had asked that you fly from Vancouver over the weekend to meet with the donors anyway, to express appreciation for the forthcoming gift. So, did you have that meeting? Did you fly to Montreal?
I live in Montreal, so there's an inaccuracy.
At this time.
No, I don't remember that meeting. Yes, that's right. I remember watching that debate in September where I suddenly realized, oh my God, my brother's going to become Prime Minister. It was a moment I will never forget. But no, I don't remember that meeting. I must say that I can even show the emails. When the first time the Université de Montréal contacted me, there was an urgency. They wanted immediately to meet with these donors because they wanted immediately to get the money to launch $1 million scholarship at the Université de Montréal.
Well, you said that you met with Zhang in June of 2014.
Correct.
How many times did you meet with Zhang after?
I met him at the signing ceremony the second time.
Okay, so you did not meet with him in 2015.
In 2015, it didn't work out. And as I say, there was great urgency in 2013 when the first email I got was that there's a great opportunity with serious Chinese, people that want to donate to the universities.
Okay.
Please meet us at your earliest convenience.
On May 19th, 2016, Justin Trudeau held a cash for access dinner in Toronto attended by Zhang Bin. Were you in attendance?
No, I was not. I heard about it like many of you in the newspapers, and it was a moment of realizing, you know what, no more academic diplomacy at the Trudeau Foundation.
Why would Zhang Bin be at a fundraiser for Justin Trudeau, a cash for access event, even though he is not a citizen of Canada? He's a Chinese national who was unable to donate. Why would he be there?
I bet you he wanted a photo with the Prime Minister to show to his friends.
A photo of the
But you'd have to ask him.
And,
you know what? And I have no reason to doubt that this man never tried anything that would look like interference. So as far as I'm concerned, he's an honorable man.
Nothing that would look like foreign interference, and then 2 weeks later, less than 2 weeks later, suddenly $70,000 check to the Trudeau Foundation.
That had started in, the process of that had started in 2014. And they had wanted to get everything done very quickly at the beginning, as I was saying. They had wanted to do it with l'Université de Montréal. The Trudeau Foundation, from his point of view, was an unfortunate add-in. here's a new prime minister. He's a rich guy.